to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. This is where we answer all of your questions about puppyhood. I'm Bethany.
And I'm Sparky from the Puppy Academy. We're excited you're here. And now, let's get to the show.
Hi, welcome everybody to Ask a Puppy Trainer Show. You've got just me today. This is episode 203. I really hope that you guys will be asking questions and put them in the comments below. It's helpful for me to have age and breed of dog if you can. This is Riley, who is already kind of biting the bejesus out of me. As adorable as she is. Look at this thing. This is a full Bernese mountain dog, like a pure breed. As pure as you can be. Look at this face. She's even got speckles. Ow. She's even got speckles. I mean, she's just so adorable. I love you dearly. All right, I'll just talk about this biting here for a second. I don't know if there's anything I can do about it, specifically. When the dogs are just mouthing us because they're teething, it's not a big deal. I just take my hand out and give them something else. You should be able to get your hand out of your puppy's mouth if they're just doing that gentle gnawing. This is not gentle. Ow, Riley. I'm trying to teach here. All right. So she's very mouthy. And so, what I'm going to do instead is if I get that, I'm going to make a fist first of all, just so they can't quite get as much leverage. It's still painful. And I'm going to try like a little bump, like, no, good. Oh, no, not my clothes either. Good. Now I'm going to go back to like slow massage. Every time I coach people, go slower. Stop overstimulating your dog with so many quick pets. Go slower. They still will like move the fingers like this. And I'm like, well, no. Let like slow, relax. She started biting me right away as soon as I did that. Slow and relaxed, all right? Not that a Bernese Mountain Dog should be on your lap, but I bet she is a little bit at home. I wouldn't blame them at all. But like, look at the difference. Like really slow. Even if I'm doing scratchies, like look, she's not biting me. You guys see that? She's going to in a minute. It doesn't magically make them not bite. But when you stick to the chest and the body, and especially if you're holding them in a way that's just much more controlled and they feel under control, almost like a vet hold or a carry hold, you're gonna get so much less of that nippiness. Whereas if I go, to the face and I start messing with it, look, guys. So there's nothing wrong with your puppy shark. They're doing, what their genetics and their body is telling them to do. Whoa. All right. Maybe Riley's done. Oh my God, you're so cute. Oh my God, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind over this dog. It's heavy. Okay, so hopefully that kind of gave you a little bit of insight. And my point is just that petting your dog, talking to your dog in any way, sometimes even if it's firmly, it causes stimulation. Right? And then they're going to get mouthy. So the way that we share affection with our dogs is a direct example to our relationship with them. And so it's just really important that the vast majority of how you interact with your dog with pets, the timing is appropriate. You're not being too permissive. You're not creating a ton of excitement. And after you do pet them and they kind of melt into it and they're like, oh, this is so nice and soothing. That's the association you want to make with most of your pets. That you then don't just put them on the ground and expect them to be calm. You were still giving them attention. So if you don't give them something to do, they're going to go get into trouble. They're going to go jump on your kid or chew up the wires under the desk. Ask me how I know. Or they're going to keep trying to jump on the couch and demand to be up on the couch. So my point is just that, anytime you're doing something that's going to stimulate your dog in any way, shape, or form, which could even be giving them eye contact while they're in crate and supposed to be calm, and they're like, oh, what? You got to do something to refocus them and calm them back down or give them something else to do. Okay, I'm going to get to your questions. Somebody asked a question right there. Yeah, you want to go ahead and jump in with that one?
Official Call Me Cora, 16-week-old Yorkie, doesn't care about peeing in his crate, and nothing seems to stop the biting from teething.
Okay, 16-week-old Yorkie. All right, so first we've got like this potty checklist, right? Yorkies are very tiny and they have tiny bladders. So 16-week-old, they might still need to be going out every 2 hours. And that is when you are restricting water. Now, by restricting, I don't mean not giving your dog enough water. That's not what I mean. I mean not giving them as much as they want all day long, constant access to water. So it's really important that, you go for your training session, your play session. I mean, a Yorkie in the bottom of a pan gets like this much. It's such a small amount. There is an actual amount. Sparky has this memorized. I don't have it memorized. You can go on Google and you can Google like how much water does a dog or puppy actually need, and it'll be like half an ounce for 10 pounds of body weight for the whole day, and then you divide that up or per session. Anyway, you can look that up if you're worried that you're not going to give enough. But it's such a small amount each time. And if it's hot where you live, like it is here, and you don't have AC, don't let your dogs guzzle anyway, even if you just went for a walk. It's like, let them drink some water. And then when you're like, okay, I think that's enough, give them a break, give them a potty break in 20 minutes. Then see if they want more water after they fully cooled off. So you've got to have structure to it, is my point. I hope that made sense, is that you are giving them water after they're out of crate, after working with them in any way, shape, or form, and then you're putting it away. So you're controlling the intake. So if they do happen to drink a lot more than usual, you're not taking them out in 2 hours. You're taking them out in 20, 30 minutes, and then you see if they can hold it hour and a half, 2 hours. It's all really kind of problem solving. It's the same. Oh my God, I'm potty training my kid right now. And it's the same thing. I have learned that at the first half of the day, she needs to pee every hour. But after her nap, I don't know if it's because it's like all built up during the day, it's every 30 minutes. And if I miss it, it's my fault, not hers, because she can't tell me yet that she needs to go. It's the same thing with puppies, which is so crazy. Sorry. I'm still in like this newness of how many, commonalities between these things are. And so that's what you're doing. You're figuring out your puppy's schedule, because your puppy is different than a retriever. It's different than the ginormous dog that you just saw that's probably younger than your puppy, but can hold it longer. And so anyway, you got to go on a problem solving find, and hopefully those tips help. The other thing I would say is that if you can't, take your puppy out that often, then yeah, put a puppy pad down in there as long as she doesn't chew them up, or give her a way to be able to go potty, in a different space other than the crate. They have like compartments, or you could do a playpen, when you're not around, so she can go and pee somewhere that's not where she lays, if you can't let your dog out of crate often enough through the day. Also, you have such a small dog, you could just get a bigger crate and you could section off areas like a playpen. That's what I prefer to do with smaller dogs, because I don't think most playpens are safe. All right, moving on to the biting portion. She squeezed in 2 questions. 2. However, all of you have this question about the biting. So you probably didn't see the opening. I would really love it if, when this gets reposted on Instagram, it only shows the first 15 minutes because Instagram has restrictions, but that's all you need. Watch the beginning portion where I'm talking about Riley, and she's painfully biting me while I'm trying to talk to you guys, just so you can, get on the right page as far as the stimulation aspect of it. The other thing is, honestly, it's normal for that age, but it doesn't matter that it's normal. We still have to be teaching them that you don't put teeth on humans. You can go bite other dogs. You can bite that species. You can, go after small animals if that's what, is okay with you, but you can't bite humans. They absolutely can make that association, and you want to start shaping that very early. For us, the biting is more about, well, what kind of impulse control are you teaching outside of the biting? Is she waiting at crate threshold, waiting at door thresholds, waiting for food bowl? Is she already doing place and stay? Because at 16 weeks old, she, could be great at that already. Is that the same person or new?
Same.
What's the follow-up?
Thank you. I was thinking I should make the crate smaller. I blocked it off, but I think it may still be too big.
Yeah, if you aren't gone for long periods of time, yeah, it's only small enough for them to turn around, lay down, that's it, and maybe a little stretch. And it's hard with a smaller dog. It definitely is, because there is no crate unless you get like the tiny little, plastic crates, which you could try. You could try that. Okay, so again, just to go back to the biting where was I? I was somewhere. It's so different not having somebody to like feed off of and like collect your thoughts while they're talking. So when it comes to when she's actually biting, let's say you're doing all your impulse control work on the outside of things. That's so important. She can't be running amok all day long, getting to play, go where she wants, lots of food, fun work, but there's no work where you're working on impulses and then you expect her not to bite. So that's why I just gotta say that, because that's not fair to the puppy. When it comes to actually addressing the biting, I would have her drag around a leash. And a little dog, you just get a 3/8 inch leash. That's how thin they are. And they definitely make those. Just type it on Amazon, like 5 or 6 foot, 3/8 inch leash and cheap nylon leash. When it comes to you, you only have it on the dog when supervised. If you have a lot of stuff in the home she could get it hooked on, just cut the loop off the end, burn, the end because it's nylon, and you've got yourself a drag leash that you could type into Amazon and pay double for. That's what they are. You can like buy a drag leash and it just means a leash without the loop on the end of it. So anyway, you can do that. And you've got to be able to control each moment by moment. So you got your drag leash on when supervised only, and you have a training pouch of food on you all the time if your puppy is out of crate. This is so critical. Why does everybody not do this? Because it's an extra step. I get it. But have like a little tray on the top of your dog's crate, or a little basket, a little cheap plastic basket that has all the goodies that you need. The drag leash, and then the pouch. You just stick that on, clip the leash on. Every time they're coming out of crate, you're ready. You're doing something, she starts mouthing you like crazy. You're just going to grab the leash, you're going to hold her out and away from you. And she's really young. So it's like really gentle. It's just preventative. You're just like, ow, no. And you hold her out and away from you. And you immediately are like, here's a piece of food. Come, sit down. Good. And just work her for a minute. And she's telling you that whatever you're doing, it's not working. If you're petting her, she's not in the mood to be pet. If you're playing with her, you're not doing it in a way that's teaching her, to bite the toy and not you. So if you want to give me some more details, I'll try to get to them. First off, the other questions.
If you're boy in Mufasa, okay, I will get him that because his biting is so much. Training pouch, great tip.
And see how that goes. And then you got to come back with more feedback for me to, give you additional stuff.
This one is on live too. Just ask a question.
She's
Flourish and bloom.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, Flourish and Bloom. That's such a pretty handle. That's a really good handle. Whew, okay. My 18-month-old Goldendoodle. So 18 months. So not a puppy. Sorry, this is like for my own frame of reference. Not a puppy anymore. Adolescent dog, almost an adult. Has been great. The only thing is when she's sleeping in the evening, she growls at my 7-year-old son if he comes close. I've told him to leave her if she does this. Ooh, okay, so there's point 1. Because I don't have Sparky to feed off of, I'm going to kind of take this point by point. I hope that's okay. It'll make it easier for my brain. I've told him to leave her if she does this. So here's the thing. What happens is she learns to control her space through growling. Growl is a warning. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but we don't want to make it a habit and teach the puppy, the dog, that that's how you control your environment. They already know that that's how they control their environment. My point is, it doesn't need to be reinforced constantly. So your communication, and maybe this is just the way you worded it, but the communication with the kid should be, you never touch a dog when they're sleeping or resting in their dog bed. So what does that look like? A 7-year-old will make lots of mistakes, but can totally understand this. Where if you want to engage, so if I'm talking, I've got a 2-year-old. So let's pretend she's 6 or 7 and I'm coaching her, which I have to do 50 times a day, but that's how it is. So it's like, okay, remember, you don't touch sleeping dogs, or maybe he's not sleeping. You don't touch a dog laying down in their dog bed, minding their own business. So what do you do? What do you do? And see if they can repeat some of it back to you, because it's like, you gotta turn it into a school thing. But what you say is, say her name, see if she wants to get up and say hi. Oh, see the tail wag? See her wiggling? Okay, go say hi. And that's fine. But if she doesn't like that either, then the kid never does it. And it's like, call the dog to you. You only pet the dog when you call the dog to you and they get up and come to you. So those are your two scenarios. If your dog relaxes and kind of wiggles and is fine after that, then teach your kid to go say hi to that. You can teach your dog how to teach your kid how to start reading emotions in other animals and respecting them. And if that's still not good, if she's still kind of iffy, have the dog always get up and come to you. I had a little dog like that. She's passed away now, but I had a little dog like that. And with adults, we worked on it. We actually would address any growling or attitude, like knock it off when she was older, but never for the kids. I would never do that for the kids. The kids was always like, get up and get a piece of food. Like, get up, come, piece of food, go back, lay down. Oh, okay. She's not interested. So you got to leave her alone now, Anyway, it's a balance, but hopefully that kind of addresses that a little bit.
She says, I'm telling my son to leave the dog, not my dog to leave my son.
Right. So the specific was, I told him to leave her if she does this. So just to be real specific, I'm glad you said that, just because I want to be real specific. Don't tell your kids to leave your dogs alone when they growl at them. Find out the reason they're growling, if you can. And teach your children that. So this doesn't even have anything to do with you anymore, but just in general. If I have a dog that growls on the couch at night or whatever the situation is, and I'm like, oh, he's growling at you, back off. You're a step too late is what I'm saying. So teach your kids that when your dog is resting in a stationary, in a lay down position, in their dog bed or sleeping, you never touch dogs that are sleeping or resting. Cause that's how you have to do it with kids. You can't be like, oh, just this dog. No, just teach them to never touch a sleeping dog. And because of the scenario you have, also to never touch a dog when they're resting in their own space. You have to get them woken up and call them to you. That's my point. Don't wait for the growling, so he might need to be 3 feet away and be like, Happy, come here. Happy, do you want to wake up? Do you want to come here? Do you want to play? What a good puppy. And that's what you have to do, with every dog in the household, not just, that one. At least try that. That's what I would try. So that's what I meant. Just don't wait for the growling. Yeah, obviously, definitely teach the kid to freeze and call for mom if there's growling. But that's not the habit you want to create. You want to try to prevent it from happening in the first place. But let me read the rest of this and then I'll get into what to do to try to help the dog. But a couple weeks ago, we were at my sister's, 2 loud, unpredictable boys. She was scared of them. It seemed, since she growls more often at my kids, multiple kids, I believe it's fear anxiety, yes. But it worries me more with my kids' friends and their unpredictable behavior, how she might react. She's intact. That is really, for females, they can absolutely get touchy before their heat. Like they can get a bit touchy and more stay away from me a few weeks before their heat even begins. Yeah, that can happen. But it also just dogs are like that all the time. Kids make them anxious, a little nervous, not really sure what they're going to do. They're so fast, they're not respectful, and then they learn that about children. Even though they like your kids, they learn that about children, and then they can be worse with other children. That absolutely is a very common thing. So there's a lot you can do. It's just, please don't put anybody in a position. Actually just dealt with this with a doodle, that bit a little kid in the face coming over. It happens and it was minor, but don't put her in that situation. Anytime you have friends over, you should have a leash on your puppy, teaching them to go to place, and you're doing food work. And if you can't do that because you're the host and you've got a lot of, things to deal with, and you don't have an older child to hold the dog on leash till you can take over and teach the dog and build confidence around kids, you got to put that dog away in crate before the doorbell even rings. That way you're preventing, all that workup, it's so important. But this is a big one to unpack. I'll be honest, you need one-on-one help for something like this, if this is something you really want to dig into. But those are kind of some of the brief things, and help the kids. All your kids are old enough to walk around with a treat pouch, and whenever she's as long as you don't have any other dogs, as long as she's laying down but she's awake, just walk by, have the kid pause, especially the youngest, and be like, good girl, Trixie, and drop a piece of food on the ground. Not even lean over and do the pressure, which still might get you a grumble, and then she gets a piece of food. We don't want that. He's standing up and he's just good. But the thing about counter conditioning that I feel like trainers don't talk enough about is that it takes hundreds of those repetitions. And so you've got to really dig in and be like, we're going to work hardcore for 2 weeks and you're going to give this dog like 20 pieces of food a day walking by, all the kids, total, and really be like, okay, we're going to spend 5 minutes, walking by Trixie. Let's get your treat pouch on. All right. Walk by and walk by again and walk by again and have the kid do it 10 times if they can handle that much. And so that is something that like stacks over time, takes a long time. In the meantime, you're teaching place duration. You're teaching not to get off place with distractions, like the kids coming in and the mailman coming to the door. You're waiting at thresholds. Do you have a good recall with your dog? Do you have a good out? Move away. Out means literally like just get up and move away from something. I would teach a really good out. You can start with a toy and then you can build to out and away from the couch. Go to your dog bed. So it's like out place. So you have like a connector. There's quite a few things that you need to do if you really want to tackle this before something happens. And I hope that you do. I hope that you're able to. Okay, I'm going to jump over to the tickety tack because we got a question over there. Christina says, 7-month-old puppy to stop jumping on people and dogs. Christina, do you have a leash on your puppy? Because there's 2 things you need. Leash and food. Leash and food. The leash is for what not to do, and the food is to encourage what to do more of. Okay, so that's really, really the biggest thing. I do have a leash. Use it, girl. So there's a few different ways you can do this. When it comes to other dogs, it depends on the dog. If the dog's wanting to play with your dog, then you drop the leash or unclip the leash and you let them play. And if there's any issues with play, it's like you move in. You got to be a physical presence. No, back off, calm down. Okay, go again. That takes lots of practice. If it comes to just, we don't greet dogs on leash, unless they're fully mature and pretty settled into knowing what the rules are. So if you're greeting other dogs on leash, on a walk with a puppy, then that's never gonna change because you're putting him in a position to get all worked up when he sees a dog coming down the street, and then the leashes are like a mess, and pretty soon your dog's going to get bit. So don't do any greetings on leash in your neighborhood. When it comes to people, though, you can do a lot with that. So if it's people coming into the home or people on the street, you get that excitement. You immediately do a turn around, sit. Place in the house is really good to teach because you can teach dogs do so much better with targeting. Target place, target a dog bed, target a cot. And then you walk to the door, they get too excited, turn, place. Use leash pressure or like moving in and blocking at the same time. Like, hey, knock it off, calm down. They calm down. Good piece of food. All the while, the person you're trying to say hi to isn't moving. That's the key. That's why this has really got to be taught in controlled scenarios, best in your home. So you can help, coach the person behind the door as well. And then it's like, okay, come on in a few steps. Oh, dog's super excited. Okay, wait. Address the dog, calm them back down. You have to help the dog through each stage of the process of someone coming in the house in order to fairly help them understand their expectations, right? So they need to be able to stay next to you in a sit before you release them to say hi or in place. So let's say that you get that, because a lot of people do, and you can get it pretty quickly and easily, honestly. The hard part is actually saying break and letting the dog greet. They're going to jump. I mean, if you have a young puppy, it's going to jump, especially if it's on the smaller side, especially if you've done lots of petting and lots of excitement and accidentally nurturing, like putting a paw on you. It's hard for them. Then you've got your guest to deal with, who's going to be like, oh, it's okay. I love puppies. It's really hard. So you got a lot to manage there. Honestly, it's up to you how strict you are. I'm very strict because I usually have bigger dogs and I need to be able to take them everywhere and have them be pretty predictable. In their behavior, I mean. And so when people come in my house, if I'm training a dog, I'm like, I need you to be calm. And if I tell you to stop petting the dog, if I say no, I need you to stop petting the dog. These are my friends that I'm like, but they know what's up. And they know how important it is because they come back 6 months later and they're like, wow, your dogs are so well behaved. I'm like, I know, it's because of all the rules I gave you to teach them, how to behave. So when they do pet, it's very calm. They just squat down or bend over if it's a bigger puppy. And puppy gets, I say, break or let's go. And I'm on leash. As soon as that puppy is starting to escalate, oh, let's go. redirect, place, sit, calm down. I'm using the leash to back up what I'm saying. However firm I need to be, it depends on the dog. And, they calm down a little bit, then they get to say hi again. That's the thing. Everybody gives up. If you gotta tell your dog no for jumping up, a lot of times you're just like, no, pop the leash or leash pressure, get back over here, sit. And then you're like, that's good. No, it's not. Like, you gotta keep letting them engage calmly with a calm person over and over and over again, until they learn to chill. And then once they are calmer, then you can put them away and crate or have them be out with you, whatever the case is. It's really a stage by stage process that you gotta go in. It didn't used to be. I mean, they used to just be in the backyard and it was like whatever. But now that we live with puppies in our house and we want all these things from them, it takes a lot of work in breaking things down. A little side note though, this is for everybody because I like transparency. I think it's important. My German Shepherd Dakota, there is a chair. It's the way our house is made. It's weird. It's like one of those step down houses. It's really annoying. So the living room is like a step down from the kitchen and main area. And so the chair, the regular chair, is even lower than it would be normally. And I have a German Shepherd. She's crazy social. Years ago, I would have friends come over. She would do place. She would say hi to them, go back to place, be calm and listen. But then they would sit in the chair and they would want to pet my sweet German Shepherd. And she started putting her paws up fairly regularly on the higher up step on the edge of the chair and getting played with. And I would just be like, okay, as soon as you're done though, she's not going to listen to you. So let me know and I'll have her go back to place. And that's what happened. Even with the big men, they'd be like, okay, no. And she'd just get more in their face. Like, they start with all that fun and excitement. So she's a German Shepherd. She's not going to listen to them. So I'm like out and she'll hop down and go to place. That only happened a few times in a small window of time. And so now it's the regular thing, right? So here's the thing. As long as my dog can stay in place if I need her to, if I have an elderly person coming over, if I have children coming over, she can stay in place. And if I can't watch her, she can be in the bedroom. No big deal. Then it's fine. But if people are like, oh, I want to say hi to her, I'm like, okay, but if sitting down, she's probably going to jump up on you. Are you okay with that? And they say, yes, it's fine with me because I can control it. If someone doesn't like it, doesn't want it, or it's not appropriate, I can control it. You get my point? I'm not crazy mean all the time just for the fun of it. I swear. And so that's just an example of when people come into my home, a little bit about what we talk about, and it's like, yeah, she says hi when they walk in, but when they sit on the couch and I tell her place, they're like, oh, it's okay. And I'm like, well, she's going to jump up on you. And they're like, oh, it's no big deal. Of course they get tired of it because she'll lay on them for an hour if I let her. So I'm like, okay, just tell me when you're done because she's not going to listen to you when you say no. I mean, you can tell her no, but she's not going to listen. So hopefully you get me. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. I'm not just mean for the sake of being mean and getting the perfect dog. No, that is not what this is about. So anyway, all right, hopefully that makes sense. We were a little late, so I'm going to squeeze in one more. Should I squeeze?
Yeah, because that's a previous client.
It was this one?
That one, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to squeeze in one more, and then we're done. All right. Hi. I have a question that I was hoping would make it. Okay. Oh, yes, I wanted to do this one. It's my favorite breed in the whole wide world. Okay. You guys don't understand. I love working with herding dogs. I mean, love. Like, I love it so much that if I could just be like, I'm just going to work with herding dogs. No, I'm just kidding. But that's how much I love it. 11-month-old Aussie who came here. Suddenly fearful of everything. Mailman, bikes, people walking by the house, walking by my car in the driveway. Never bothered him before. I assume it's a fear stage. How best to navigate this? Okay. It's 1:32. Okay. I have to include this because I just think it's so cool and important. They're predators, right? Our dogs, even your cute little Chihuahua, especially the Chihuahuas, they are predators. They were bred to kill things, herd things, all that stuff, right? From a biological perspective, these fear stages, and I do the quotations because we don't know a lot about fear stages, to be honest. They're very kind of like descriptive. We don't know when they're going to happen. You might have one, you might have three. They're usually 1 and under, but every now and then I'll see a fear stage in a dog that's 1.5 years. Why do these happen? Why? Well, it's a survival instinct because they do still have enough genetics to be, before domestication, that they're all gung-ho with their predatoriness. The fear stage is biological to make sure it keeps them in check. So if they were wolves, if they were a pack of dogs, living in another country, so this doesn't happen really in the United States, they would have at least some pause before they just run across the street. Some pause before they chase after a bear. Even though you can see lots of Instagram videos of dumb dogs chasing bears for no reason. My point is that this is a biological thing that helps keep your predator safe. Just like if I walk down the street all willy-nilly, oh, I don't see any cars, even though the light says I shouldn't go, I'm just gonna go while I look at my phone. That's dumb. People with no anxiety, they die quicker. Look it up. It's true. So my point is that this is a biological thing and I don't fight it. And so here's what I mean by that. If you were to come to me and say, I have a dog fearful of this, this, and this, and this, it's been fearful its whole life. I'm like, okay, we're charging ahead. We're building confidence. And I am a trainer that challenges dogs. I don't always work them under threshold once they're your dog's age, not the puppies, but like over 6, 7, 8, 9 months, I challenge them and I will put them over threshold. I won't go into what I mean by that because I don't have time, but my point is I'm not afraid to challenge a dog that's struggling with fearful stuff. However, you tell me what you just told me and I'm going to go slower. I am going to try to work more under threshold. I am going to try to set my dog up more for success because they are much more vulnerable in this time period. So I don't know exactly what your dog is doing. You said fearful. I don't know if that means reactive. Usually with an 11-month-old Australian Shepherd, that means reactive, like barking at or jumping at, chasing. But I don't know that for sure. It could be moving away. I don't know. But you can write back next week and I would love to tackle the specifics. But bottom line, if you don't normally have a leash on your dog in the house, and this is happening a lot, you put a leash on your dog or you set it up to where they can't be by the window, by the door, getting worked up. And so that way you've got that leash on and you can pick, only when supervised, of course, you can pick up that leash. No, come, good, place, down. And you've got food on you now, even though you haven't had food on you when your dog is out in months. Now you got food on you again. Good food, good food. This is counter conditioning. So it's not like sit down one piece of food. It's several pieces of food, 3 to 5 per each thing. And then you just say break. If they go right towards that front window again, or the car walking by my car in the driveway. So car thing. So I'm doing stop, sit, food, take 2 steps. Stop, sit, food, take 2 steps. You're still doing it calmly. This is not puppy training. Good boy. No. This is anxiety you're battling. And so you're very calm, chill, collected, even though you're delivering lots of food to counter condition. It's done in a very slow, calm, controlled way. Now, if I can't walk right by my car and I know my puppy is struggling with that right now, I'm going to preemptively, just like I would a dog on the street, bubble out and around my car while using food. And do it 3-4 times till they're not so worried before I even go on my walk. So you're handling each session more under threshold in a way that he can focus. Excuse me. If he can't, you're too over threshold and you got to find a way. You got to problem solve. You can come back, and ask us, of course. Mailman, bikes, people walking by the house. You need more distance. So and if you can't see things, because dogs are, especially herding dogs, they tend to have sensory overload really easily, especially in cities. And so if you look down and you just see his ears alert, you don't know why, do a turn, stop, sit, food, look around, walk a few steps, turn, stop, sit, food. You don't know why. Oh, and now comes the bike. Turn your dog. Be preemptive, right? You don't know what the reason is that he's struggling, but you're going to do something about it. You don't know why he's alert. but you're going to do something about it. So that's one. The other thing is the bike is coming up this way, you turn this way. The bike is coming at you this way, even though it's 6 feet to the side, it doesn't matter. To your dog's peripheral with eyes on the side of their head and their ears, it seems more intense than that. Do an inside turn, okay? And ride it out best you can, right? And so don't push this moment. Stay more at a distance from things. Backtrack your structure. Structure builds confidence. So back up your structure even in the house. If you haven't been doing play duration anymore because he's doing so good, do a couple hours of play duration a day. Add that back in. Those things really help. And I gotta go. And I hope I'll hear from you next week. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into Ask a Puppy Trainer Show.
We hope you found some advice that you can use to help make puppyhood a little easier.
Don't forget to join us live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram or TikTok at The Puppy Academy.
This is where you can get a chance to ask your burning questions in real time. And if you want even more puppy guidance, visit our website at thepuppyacademy.com for info on joining our online puppy school.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please consider subscribing to our podcast and leaving us a review.
These reviews let more people find us and supports us on our mission to help as many puppy parents as possible around the globe.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.